I'm joined by Ann-Maureen Owens from Grandmother Connection. Welcome, Ann-Maureen. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to shine a spotlight on the Kingston Grandmother Connection.
So tell me about the Kingston Grandmother Connection.
Well, we're a community group who raise funds for grandmothers and their orphaned grandchildren in Africa. We do this through two charities, the Stephen Lewis Foundation's Grandmother to Grandmother campaign, and Help Lesotho. So Help Lesotho is based out of Ottawa. Peg Herbert is the founder of that, and we have a personal connection to that because one of our founding members, who's still a very active member, is her sister. So that's how that came about.
Okay, well, but they both have the same goal. And
they do.
As I understand it, these are women, older women,
yes,
living in Africa who have lost their own children to usually AIDS.
Yes, HIV/AIDS.
And now they're trying to raise their their grandchildren, who could be from teenagers all the way down to a newborn.
Yes.
And some of these women, well, for one thing, they don't have much money, and they're trying to feed all these kids, and they may be sick themselves. Have I kind of
You
nailed?
have. Yes, you've given a good picture of that. So these are people who are very vulnerable. The Stephen Lewis Foundation works in 15 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and Help Lesotho works in Lesotho, which is a landlocked, very mountainous, very poor country, landlocked by South Africa. And so we, in solidarity with those women who are courageously facing these difficulties, we sort of try and, along with other groups across Canada, raise money to send to them. And the two charities that we do this with are extremely reputable. I'm sure most people have heard of the Stephen Lewis Foundation, but maybe not everyone's heard of Help Lesotho. Both of those charities are in the top 25 out of 2,500 Canadian charities as surveyed by the Financial Post. So in terms of accountability and transparency,
and the amount of money that goes to the program versus going to administration and so on.
That's right.
I know that's all very important.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you say to people who might say to you, you know, we got poor women here in Canada. We've got women here who are trying to raise their grandchildren, and I don't get why you're sending this money halfway around the world to support women that none of us can even identify with. Like what's up with that? So how do you answer that?
Well, I think we have a responsibility to people in our own country, certainly. But we also have a responsibility as citizens of the world. And to have people from two different continents come together in solidarity is really quite inspiring. And really it was Stephen Lewis, after he finished his term with the UN as their special envoy for HIV/AIDS in Africa, who started this campaign. I mean, he saw that need, and he was able to very eloquently put that across to Canadians. And when that book came out, that's really what started our group and many others across Canada. And because of our connection with a member of our group, with Help Lesotho, we decided we would support both. So we raised funds and split it evenly. So I don't think that takes away from what we do, what people should be doing in our own country. I think we have responsibilities there too.
What are some of the, is a specific project, like say a well or something like that? Or is it even more basic than that the money is going to? Like, how are they using the money?
They're using the money for things like seeds for their gardens, there are many sort of examples. Solar lights. Many of these communities are quite remote, have no electricity, and it also helps the children go to school. There are school fees. They need shoes. They need clothing, school uniforms in Africa, and they. So it goes for that. It would help with roof repairs. These are elderly women who, houses they can't always maintain themselves. But it also goes to social and psychological support, which is pretty necessary too. You can imagine, and mental health issues that might be there too.
And I think it's safe to say that a 70-year-old woman in Africa is a much different 70-year-old than here in Canada.
In terms of
their
resilience, you mean?
Well, yeah, their health.
Their health.
Their health. Like they're not so healthy themselves.
In a lot of cases, that's very true. Yeah, because it's a very hard life.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
And I think going back to your last question, I think we're very lucky in Canada. I mean, some of us may be luckier than others, but so as world citizens, I think we do have a responsibility to reach out to those who are not so lucky, just as our country and others are being asked to reach out to developing countries and help.
Right. I get that lovely little check every month. And you don't even ask for it. They just send you a notice saying, well, next year you're going to turn 65 and we're going to send you money every month just for being you. And we don't realize just how fortunate we are, because that isn't a universal thing. And
no.
There's unique challenges that these women have. So you are doing a fundraiser. Tell me about that.
So usually we have been able to have in-person markets for Africa.
Been there every year, absolutely.
Yes. Well, we kind of missed that, but we are doing, because of pandemic restrictions, we changed to an online market, and that's so you can go to our website, g2gkingston.ca, and starting on Sunday, there'll be a button you can click and shop, and we partner with Shopify for that, so you can feel very confident that in terms of using your credit card or whatever, PayPal, whatever, on that.
So what have you brought with you to show us?
I brought some things that will be on the online market. So some of the things we have, I should say, we have a lot of very creative
You have
members.
Some beautiful pieces, and
So
you've got to show me the gloves.
Yes, the gloves, okay. So our knitters are making gloves and scarves and various things, and these are called Newfoundland trigger mitts, because you have the dexterity of gloves, but the warmth of a mitt.
That blows me. What a wonderful idea. Absolutely.
Because they're gorgeous too.
Normally, if you want to use your index finger, you take off your gloves and freeze your hands. I'm just thinking at the dog park trying to hook up my dog to go home and get freaking cold at times. So, wow, just so many great things that you've brought along. So if somebody wants to know more about how do they go about supporting you by buying some of these goods?
Well, they would go to our website, which is, they can either just Google Kingston Grandmother Connection and this would come up, or if they can remember, g2gkingston.ca, and they'll find out all about us there, but also something they'll say something like shop with us, and you click on that, and it'll take us to the online market where you can order. Some of these things are donated by members who've been to Africa, as well as pearls for girls, which is jewelry that's produced to help young women, girls in Africa. So that's an initiative we support too.
Everybody needs a calendar this time of year.
Needs a calendar. This is this year's,
good time
so next year's will be coming.
And good way to support. Get your calendar for this year too.
That's right. And then we have artwork that's been donated, and
All kinds of stuff.
all kinds of things.
Good way to do your Christmas shopping.
It is. That's how I did all my Christmas shopping last year.
Thank you so
and
much.
I should say I'm wearing.
Oh, of
I'm wearing
course,
something
yeah,
as well.
the scarf. It's
A
beautiful.
gorgeous scarf, knitted and felted by one of our members.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.